In order to keep up with Kazakhstan's booming economy and ever-growing demand for loans, local lenders turned to foreign capital. But since the collapse of the US subprime mortgage market led to a freeze in global credit markets, some Kazakh banks have been struggling to borrow from overseas and have stopped lending to domestic home buyers and builders. In recent years, Almaty has been experiencing a massive boom in construction, which includes mushrooming skyscrapers accompanied by skyrocketing prices. But whether or not these multi-million-dollar projects will ever be completed is far from certain.
I believe this is not a crisis, the financial or banking crisis in Kazakhstan. And banking sector, financial sector can solve the problems themselves. And they do not need any help from the government.
Still, the government has offered a helping hand. It plans to pump $4 billion into the economy by the end of next year, it says, to preempt public unrest. Government officials and some banking executives insist it's not an aid package.
This is not so much the aid from the side of the government to the banking sector, as this is a discussed and agreed upon effort to support three sectors.
The first one is the support for the construction companies themselves.
Another part is to offer money to SME, small and medium enterprises sector.
And to support projects that are viewed as important projects for diversifying the economy from the dependence on the oil and gas sectors.
After this cash injection was announced last month, not all bankers were pleased.
From our point of view, the government is helping our competitors.
The Kazakh central bank is stepping in as well, pressuring the country's commercial lenders to change their strategies and borrow more at home amid the global increase in credit costs. It signed an agreement with some of the institutions and for the first time in 11 years started offering refinancing loans to the finance industry. Participating banks are using their minimum reserves requirements and state securities as collateral.
Our bank was not borrowing and or have not been borrowing, and we also refused to sign a memorandum with the central bank because we are uninterested because of our strong liquidity position. As I mentioned, our free liquidity is over $2.5 billion.
Other banks are less fortunate and are adjusting to the new environment.
We are changing our focus from growth into raising our effectiveness, and we are carefully looking on our distribution network, and in our near future plan, we are planning to optimize our distribution network and maybe cut some ineffective costs on our distribution channels. And
ATF Bank has a special trump card up its sleeve, Italy's biggest lender.
We have the privilege of having UniCredit as main shareholder, who will definitely be of assistance there, but we will go to the markets. I mean, the most important thing for us will be to keep our balance sheet structure fine, so the short-term and the long-term funding in balance. For the time being, that looks quite okay.
And keeping balance in Kazakhstan's banking industry will be key to restoring lending growth for the building of a nation.